Hey guys, my name's Patrick from Elevated Overland. This is a Toyota Sunrader that we converted from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. So starting in the front, obviously it has all new suspension, a new axle actually. We had to cut all the two-wheel drive components out and clean up the frame, reinforce the chassis, and then we installed a four-wheel drive front axle out of a 1985 Toyota pickup truck. This is the solid front axle. A lot of people call this a solid axle swap, but it's a lot more than that because we had to also deal with the rear and the motorhome part of this. So the front end we got out of a 1985 pickup truck, completely rebuilt, has a 488 ring and pinion in it, so it moves the truck along pretty well. It's not the fastest thing on the road, but it's not horribly slow. So behind the 488 ring and pinion, we have an automatic transfer case and transmission. So that was the hardest part of this swap, was the automatic. We kept this truck automatic, so it's an automatic 22 with 488 gears. So this is a 32-inch tire is what this came out to be. We have 8 lug wheels on the front, which is really cool. So this is 8x170, I believe, 4 dually wheels. We ordered the adapters and we got the wheels so we could have a common wheel size for a common tire size. It's the biggest difficulty when doing this conversion. There was one company that made custom wheels. The custom wheels no good, so we found a really reputable company. These adapters, that use them on F550s and trucks like that to run semi wheels. So they're rated for about 30,000 pounds a piece, which is way more than any of this will ever throw at it. We got new shocks on all 4 corners, Bilstein shocks. We had to do new shock mounts front and rear, axle side and frame side. We got the U-bolt flip front and rear as well, just to give it that little bit extra clearance, because this is a 4-wheel drive camper. I know it's not going to be going crazy, but you know, there's no kill like overkill. In the rear, we did a axle flip. We took a spring over axle, so we took the springs from under the axle, put them over the axle, new shocks, airbags, sway bar, custom sway bar links. A whole lot of work went into the rear end to make it stable, because we wanted this thing as stable as possible. We put some fender flares on it because we also ran adapters in the rear to the 8 lug wheels, so we have 6 matching wheels and tires, which is really cool. And we also have those black fender flares back there to also cover the tire and give it a real more aggressive look. We had to do a custom spare tire mount because the old spare tire location was no longer available after we relocated the shocks in the rear for the 4-wheel drive. That is essentially all we did to this, but I'll give you a closer look of everything and explain a little more in detail right now. Alright, so here's the truck. Here's under the front end. So you can see that Toyota axle. It's a little muddy under here still. We have an independent front suspension steering box in here. Custom crossover steering. FJ80 tie rod ends. All that's new. U-bolt flip. Freshly rebuilt knuckles. Wheel bearings. All that good stuff. The locking hubs are also freshly rebuilt. New brake lines. Custom bump stops. We did have to do a custom transmission crossmember. This might be hard to see. I do apologize about that in advance. We had to modify the exhaust. We had to modify the e-brake. And coming over here, you can see the fender flares that we put on. And looking at it this way, you can see how much wider this thing is than it was. So coming under the rear, you can see the spare tire. It's mounted right there, and there's the rear axle. So here are Heim joint ends on the sway bar, our Bilstein shocks, 10-inch shocks. We completely rebuilt the rear axle as well, 488 ring and pinion to match. Obviously 8 lugs, new wheels, new tires, extended bump stops. It does have a custom drive shaft that we had built, so all that's good. We did close this off just for the customer. They asked us to do that. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. But that's just about it. This is for a customer. We are returning this thing very soon. So I just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek at what this thing is and how we built it and that kind of thing. So we did quite a bit of wiring on this one too. The four-wheel drive automatic was quite a challenge, and we learned some lessons on this one. So anyways, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for watching. If you want to see more camper stuff, eventually we'll get to it, but we do have a lot of other stuff on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for clicking that like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you later.